Okay.
Right? So when we do consecutive left joins, you just have to think about what did it make? So see, all right, that's fine, that's fine. And I'm still going to get all my CD names, but there it's just going to continue on the nulls. But I got to do another left join.
Okay.
So if you think about this, if you think in the same fashion that it's processing, this is pretty easy. You go, oh, okay, so it joined those two. And what I would highly recommend that y'all do is play a lot with this. But do what I'm doing right here. Select star and see what the output is and understand why does it look like that. And I go, oh, okay, well then, if I'm working from that and I have to join, well, if I say, well, give me all the previous stuff, which is what left actually does. Oops. Other questions? Cool. It's like we're learning. List the name and truck ID for every driver that has made a shipment, along with each driver's average shipment. Okay, so from truck T join shipment S on T dot truck ID equals S dot truck ID. Okay, so what do we want here? I want the name, so select driver name and the truck ID for every driver that's made a shipment, along with each driver's average shipment weight. Shipment weight or shipment weight?
Shipment weight.
Okay, well that's not going to work, right? Right?
Yeah.
It's not going to work for a lot of reasons. Okay, it's still not going to work because I have an aggregate function, so everything that's not an aggregate function goes in a group by statement. Group by driver name, T dot, truck ID. Everything that's not an aggregate function goes in the group by statement. I got to make my laundry piles before I can start talking about things about my laundry piles. Yes, sir.
Is it bad for them to qualify the other column names?
Nope, some companies actually like you to fully qualify everything and not even with aliases. How to avoid them like the plague, but it's not that fun.
So,
Yes, sir.
so on the group by, in this instance, when we know we're trying to do an average, you put the not aggregate on the two in the bottom, and that will allow us to query it correctly.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Average, min, max, anything where I'm saying something about a pile of stuff. Everything else that's not aggregate goes in there. I could also, I could do this. I could say, oh, this is a stupid example. But I could say max ship weight. And I won't have to change anything, right? Because that's an aggregate function, that's an aggregate function. It's everything that isn't that needs to go in the group by. So that would still run. It's a silly example, but it would still run. Once I've made the piles, I made a pile by driver name and truckload, driver name and truck ID, driver name. I can say anything I want about the piles. But I gotta make the piles first. Otherwise, if the only thing in there is an aggregate function, right, that's no grief because it looks at the column as a big pile. And it says, oh, I can tell you things about that pile. I can tell you the average of that whole column. Now it's one pile of stuff. This is okay, that's cool. The smaller piles, you got to break them into the smaller piles first. Yes?
I'm noticing that on some of these, while I got the same results, they're not necessarily in the same order.
Okay.
Could that be because I had the tables ordered differently? Or
Maybe.
What is,
I have no idea.
should I even think about it?
It might be that. It might be the way they join them. I don't really know. Because I don't We don't care. If we care, we'll order it. And if we don't order it, then we don't care. I mean, because what are we doing with this data? We're presenting it in an HTML form. We can order it on the way. We're feeding up into some variables. We'll order it when it's in variable. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We don't really care. We only care if we're printing this out straight out for the boss, in which case we'll say, oh, fine, order by blah, ascending. So it's pretty. Order by, it's just a pretty thing. Yes?
Does it matter if you qualify something that doesn't necessarily need a
No, you
white
can
driver
qualify
name?
all you want.
You can.
Sure. I can qualify this. I'm pretty sure I have to use my alias once I started down that road though. Yeah. It's not gonna dig that, but I can say T dot governance.
Okay.
I cast my average as a decimal, as a float.
Okay.
Is that, I mean, if you were asked that at a
That's
job,
because
would
I
you
haven't
have done
any
that?
kind of formatting or casting or anything.
Uh-huh.
I would never ask you to. I haven't asked you to do that besides a little bit.
Okay, but if you were my boss and you were asking me that, because I looked at the results and was like, well, that can't be right, it didn't give me the fractional part of it, so.
Yeah, you'd want to cast it, for sure. Again, though, the reality is, you're probably feeding this into something, some form of prettifier. Even if you're using PowerShell, if you run the query, and then cast it out, not cast it, turn it back out into an HTML document. The same. Somewhere as it goes through the pipes, we'll probably prettify it. If it was the 80s, we're all about prettifying on the page,
Okay.
including borders and a whole bunch of other nonsense. We just don't do that so much anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, casting is a good thing. Other questions? Okay. Do number 5 again. For this time, show only the drivers having an average shipment weight larger than 800 pounds. Oh, okay, I need to get rid of some of my piles. Well, that's a having. Having average ship weight greater than 800. Also, give the average column the name. Average shipment weight.
Bracket.
Oh, yeah, wow, that was so much regret. So many things wrong there. There we go. It's funny how one typo.
20 minutes of Googling later.
So dramatic, man. This is lost its mind. How dare you? Questions? So having just gets rid of piles of laundry. Sorts them out. Group by makes piles. Having says, I don't want all the piles. Just like where gets rid of some rows.
Shouldn't have been a left join?
I'm sorry?
Shouldn't there have been a left join? The truck ID for every driver?
For every driver that has made a shipment. Don't be putting in Oxford commas into your thinking there.
I
For every
did left
driver,
too.
comma.
I did left too, and that's
Yeah,
making
well,
me
you
wonder
moved on.
why mine are out of order. Because I've got Lee, Marco,
It's not
and
because it's
Don.
wrong. It's wrong.
You go check.
So you don't have to put as.
You can put as if you want.
But you don't have to.
As has additional magical properties that we're just not going to talk about. No, actually, this probably doesn't matter. Secret server. The same thing. Other questions? See, there's something picked in mind that I felt like I should tell you, but yeah, whatever. Okay. So let's get rid of all that. What are the customers' ID and name? So customer table of either over 2 million in annual revenue and shipments over 900, or Lubbock, so I need city name, no defined. So let's see, from customer C, join shipment, S on C dot, cust ID equals S dot, cust ID join city Y on Y dot, city ID equals S dot, city ID, and where I as student, I'd be all like, am I making these stupid mistakes? Yeah, not yet. Student or not, that's how I always do it. I'm like, okay, things got joined up. What do I want? All right, so where annual revenue is greater than 2 million and ship weight is greater than 900 or city name equals Lubbock. No duplicates, please. That's me telling you to use the distinct. Select distinct. What do I want? Cust ID, its name. Alphabetize the cities. Order by city name ascending. It's backwards. Look at that beautiful query.
It's disgusting.
So cust ID is not going to work because I've got it in 2 different places. And actually, this problem has a serious problem in the fact that I didn't put city name up in the select statement, which means you functionally cannot have done this right. So sorry. But how'd you look at that error? Oh my God. Okay, order, wait, hold on. I'm gonna solve this. I got this. I'm gonna listen to the bad words here. Okay, select distinct, and it says order by items must occur in the select statement. Okay, so I'm gonna put city name up here. And then when I go to execute this, oh no, I don't know, I did something stupid, right?
You put
Okay.
last name.
So you actually functionally could not have done that one right. You would have had to fix it somehow. Sorry, it happens. I should make a note. I've only been using that problem for like 8 years. There's a certain recursiveness to my errors. Fix. I don't know, but you can't order by pseudonym and you said distinct cust ID, cust name. Now, this works because and takes precedence or priority over or. I would never mess around with it. I would throw some parentheses around that. Jizz.
Yeah, just out of laziness, if you didn't want to say, like, especially when you start getting into like billion and trillion, can you just like type to, you have to actually type out like every numerical.
Yeah, man.
Okay, no, just
Well, I mean, unless you store it like 2, 2.3, and stuff like that, but you gotta type it out however it's stored.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the real world, yeah, you very well could have someone who was thoughtful enough to store it as 2 point blah blah blah.
Right.
Yeah. Whatever it is in
So
there.
I'm
it's
one of those
like-
people who have to like start counting backwards, like 1, 2. 3.
Yeah, no, you'll always hear me stop and go, I have a little rhythm. Yeah.
So on the test, you would tell us when to use join queries or when to use subqueries, right?
If I care which one you use, I'll let you know. If I don't specify, you can use either one. And in some cases, you have to use the subquery. Asking for the things greater than the average of things, that's got to be a subquery. Yes.
So I messed up,
Okay.
but interestingly enough, kind of worked except I forgot to do the descending. So I did a group by instead of an order by. And I did a group by city name. So it grouped all of my city names alphabetically, and then I forgot to put the descending. So I wonder if you can group by
You
descending.
can't group by descending now. Group by this makes files long. You're trying to shuffle them around in an order before it doesn't work like that. You got output that might have been sort of kind of close, but that's just happens. go under number 8. Who are the drivers who deliver shipments for customers, annual revenue over 2 million, the cities and population? So I got to join 4 tables here. So let's see here. Let's just be masochistic and not use aliases. So from truck, join shipment on truck dot truck ID equals shipment dot truck ID join city on city dot city ID equals shipment dot city ID join customer on customer dot cust ID equals shipment dot cust ID check for stupid typos. None that I can see yet. Who are the drivers who have, what have they done? They've delivered to where? Annual revenue greater than 2, blah, 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 blah. No, I literally have to do it every time. Yep. City pop greater than 4 every time. And select governing. And it should look something like that. Got 12 rows. This is a good version of no questions.
On that test, we're gonna have to write all these out.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to write these down in the test, yeah.
I just wanna do it in the films and put up.
Well, I know, but nobody wants your test, then would it?
You can fix it yourself.
Yeah, no, that's not quite how it works in gym land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's 7 points. Given the fact that test is going to probably have more than about 60 points in it, that's a pretty good question. So if you know your joins, half of it's free. If you don't know your joins, you're going to retake the class. And that's pretty much where this comes down to. I mean, I would make sure I know how to join tables properly. It's just so I don't know, important to use the score. Yes, sir.
So on your joint statements, does it actually matter which order your shipment.city ID versus city.city ID is? Because I have mine the other way around, but they don't have the same answer.
Well, are you talking about this part right here?
Yeah.
Well, and I'm not being facetious, but it's just an equality statement.
Right.
So A equals B is the same as B.
But it's not
equals
like a social faux pas to do primary first and foreign second or something.
No. It's not, SQL's not that smart, right? It's just equating. And in the order in which I join things doesn't matter either, unless I get into the left join land. So yeah, you get a lot of flexibility. The only thing that matters is, as I grab another table, it's got to be hooked up to one of the earlier ones with the line. But now the order doesn't matter. Now, it may affect your output. That might be true.
Are there actually only 5 different drivers in there? I don't know what I was thinking, I grouped by truck driver.
Did you find your error?
I think so, I think that's all it was, I grouped by truck driver, oh, and I did distinct
Should be
too.
grouped by an offense.
So, I know.
Other questions? Okay. Let's talk about subqueries. Now, I want you to think about subqueries in the exact same fashion. Where's the data coming from? So if we come over here, and look at that ERD. And this first problem says, list the cities by name, so that's the city table. Let's see shipments, that's the shipment table. From customers, that's the customer table. So I'm going to hop from one to the other. So first thing I'm going to do is just basically do the problem backwards. Who are the customers having less than 1.5 million annual revenue? That's going to be my first query, and I'm going to get the cust ID out of that. And then I'm gonna figure out, hey, what shipments, so select something from shipment where cust ID is in those customer IDs that I got. What am I selecting? Well, city ID. Select city ID from shipment where cust ID is in that. I'm gonna pass that city ID into my outer query that says select city ID from city where, no, that's it. And I'll take that whole hot mess and order it. So all the subqueries are like that. Solve them backwards and follow the lines. So let's just do that. So who are my customers? So from customer, where annual revenue is greater than?
Less than.
1,500,000. I'm gonna mess myself up there. And so what do I want? Well, I'm gonna get the cust IDs. And I can even be like, okay, that works, cool. So that's my innermost query. I'm gonna hit the tab key and push that all over. Okay, so my next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, so from shipment, all right, and just follow my line, like work it here, and I'm gonna go work here, and I'm gonna work here. From shipment, where cust ID is in the set of customer IDs that have to be in parentheses that I got from the first query. It's the exact same as saying where cust ID in 5, 7, 9, 11. If I ran that query, it'd be the same as what I'm doing here, but instead I'm going to let it generate those numbers. And what do I want? Well, what I want is obviously going to be city IDs because that's where I'm going next. So select city ID from shipment, where cust ID is in. I can run it real quick to make sure there's not a mistake. This is always going to be the same thing as this. I might do something to this, I might average it, or I might do something to it, but this thing is going to be this thing. Paying special attention to the fact that, hey, some primary keys we rename, supervisor ID and stuff like that, but fundamentally, this thing's going to be that thing.
Is that one supposed to be city ID or city?
Well, we got there yet. Now, I want the city names. So, first off, from city, where city ID is in, bracket, bracket, the output from those things, and what do I want to see? Select city name. Select city name, city ID, where city ID is in this, where that's in that. And that's what I get. And that's the way some queries work. And for some people, that mental process is really convenient and easy. And in some problems, when you're first trying to rough out an ad hoc query, your boss came by and said, find out blah. It's easy to do a thing and say, okay, I got all the cities that matter, and I'll push them off to another query that does a thing, and you can build your way out of trouble. That makes sense? Questions? Identify all your tables.